Chapter 2. The Pulse of Collapse. Scene I. Manhattan. Midnight. The heart of New York beat like a war drum. Skyscrapers pulsed with energy. Neon veins ran through the streets. The city was alive, wired, humming, defiant. At its center stood Iron Pulse, sentinel of the grid. His armor shimmered with kinetic light, each heartbeat sensing with the city's power. He was the rhythm, the protector, the pulse. Tonight, the rhythm faltered. A ripple tore through the skyline. Buildings flickered. Glass turned to stone, then back again. Streetlights blinked in Morse code, spelling warnings no one could read. The digital billboards on Times Square glitched, showing faces that didn't exist. A child's laughter echoed from nowhere. Then silence. Iron Pulse stood atop the Empire State Building, scanning the horizon. His HUD flared red. Dimensional anomaly detected. Origin, East River Dari. Entropy signature, unmoor. He clenched his fists. The gauntlets responded, charging with magnetic force. He had heard the stories. Philadelphia, the fracture, the archivist. He'd seen the Liberty Bell ring across timelines, but he hadn't believed it. Not really. Until now. Scene the second. The return of Unmoor. The East River boiled. Not with heat, but with memory. Water surged upward, forming spirals of forgotten lives. A subway car from 1973 burst from the surface, rusted and screaming. A wedding procession from 1892 floated past, frozen in time. The Brooklyn Bridge twisted, its cables unraveling into fractal strands. And then he rose. Unmoor. His cloak was no longer fabric. It was a storm. His face was a blur of identities. A soldier. A child. A tyrant. A god. He hovered above the river, arms outstretched, absorbing the chaos like breath. Unmoor. New York. The city that never sleeps. Let's see how it dreams. He raised a hand. The skyline responded. One World Trade Center flickered, becoming a lighthouse from another age. Central Park turned to desert. The Statue of Liberty wept, molten copper. People screamed as their memories rewrote mid-step. A woman forgot her children. A man remembered dying in a war that never happened. Iron Pulse launched. Scene the third. Clash above the grid. He hit Unmoor like a thunderclap. The impact sent shockwaves through the river, freezing time for a moment. Iron Pulse's armor flared, sensing with every satellite, every server, every heartbeat in the city. He was the grid, incarnate. Iron Pulse. You're not rewriting the city. Not while I'm still pulsing. Unmoor laughed. A sound like 1,000 forgotten names. Unmoor. You pulse. But you don't anchor. You're just noise. They clashed again. Iron Pulse's gauntlets struck with magnetic force, disrupting entropy fields. Unmoor countered with paradox blades, weapons forged from broken causality. Each strike rewrote the laws of motion. Gravity reversed. Sound became silence. Buildings aged and unaged in seconds. Iron Pulse activated his core sync. A burst of pure rhythm. The city responded. Traffic lights pulsed. In unison. Subways aligned. The beat of New York surged through him. He struck Unmoor with a blast of harmonic force. Unmoor staggered. But he didn't fall. Scene 4. The fall of Manhattan. Unmoor raised the entropy crown, now reforged from the ruins of Philadelphia. It pulsed with collapsing realities. He whispered a phrase in a language that never existed. The city broke. Broadway became a battlefield from the future. Wall Street turned into a medieval bazaar. The Chrysler Building split into two timelines. One where it was never built, one where it ruled the skyline. People vanished. Others multiplied. A child aged into dust. A statue came to life. Iron Pulse tried to stabilize the grid. He launched anchor beacons across the boroughs. They pulsed with order, sensing with the city's rhythm, but Unmore was faster. He shattered the beacons mid-flight. He rewrote the rhythm. He turned the pulse into static. Iron Pulse faltered. Unmore, you fight with tech. I fight with truth. And the truth is unstable. He struck Iron Pulse with a blade of pure contradiction. And the armor cracked. The rhythm stuttered. Iron Pulse fell. Scene V. The last beat. He landed in Times Square, surrounded by flickering memories. Advertisements showed alternate lives. A version of him smiled from a billboard. Married, retired, forgotten. Another showed him as a villain. Another as a child. He rose, bleeding, sparking. Iron Pulse. I am the beat. I am the rhythm. I am the city. Unmore descended. Unmore, you were. But cities forget. So do heroes. He raised the entropy crown. Iron Pulse activated his final protocol, Pulse Lock. A burst of synchronized energy surged through the city. For a moment, everything aligned. The skyline stabilized. The memories paused. The beat returned. But only for a moment. Unmore shattered the pulse lock with a whisper. Iron Pulse collapsed. Scene the sixth. The silence of the city. New York fell quiet. No sirens. No traffic. No heartbeat. Unmore hovered above the ruins, his form flickering. With stolen lives. Shadows of the city's last moments clung to him like static. Faces, screams, memories. All trapped in the folds of his corrupted aura. Unmore. One city down. One anchor broken. He turned toward the horizon. Philadelphia pulsed in the distance, its skyline glitching faintly, as if reality itself was buffering. Unmore. Let the fracture spread. Scene in seventh. The Colonel awakens. Far beneath the Appalachian crust, buried in a forgotten data vault, the Colonel hummed to life. 1,000 blinking lights danced across server racks like fireflies in a digital cave. The air was cold, sterile, and electric. A holographic phoenix flared above the central console. Its wings were etched in circuitry, its eyes glowing with quantum fire. Patch protocol was online. Inside the command chamber, 3 figures stood before the Phoenix, their silhouettes sharp against the neon glow. Frameskip materialized first. Literally. He glitched into existence mid-stride, skipping 3 frames of reality, to arrive before the others. His suit shimmered with pixelated blur trails, and his eyes flickered like corrupted code. Frameskip. Unmore's moved. Philly's next. Codebreaker stepped forward, her visor scrolling lines of encrypted data. Her fingers danced across a floating keyboard, rewriting logic in real time. Codebreaker. He's severing anchors. Each city is a node in the global stability net. If he breaks enough, the whole simulation collapses. Daybug emerged last, his presence calm and deliberate. His suit bore no ornament, just matte black with faint green pulses. He carried a scanner shaped like a tuning fork, calibrated to detect anomalies in spacetime. Daybug. Then we patch the breach before it spreads. The Phoenix flared again, projecting a map of the eastern seaboard. New York blinked red. Philadelphia flickered yellow. The rest of the map trembled. Scene 8 of Torta. Scene 8. Infiltration Protocol. Above Philadelphia, Unmore's influence began to seep. Traffic lights blinked out of sync. Buildings shimmered with false reflections. Time stuttered. Patch protocol deployed. Frameskip launched first, skipping across rooftops like a corrupted frame reel. Each jump left behind flickering afterimages and screen tear ripples. He phased through surveillance drones, scrambling their targeting systems with a grin. Frameskip. Comms. Visuals corrupted. I'm inside the glitch zone codebreaker, followed via encrypted tunnel. Her consciousness uploaded into the city's grid. She rewrote traffic algorithms, rerouted emergency protocols, and embedded logic bombs into Unmore's signal. Codebreaker, comms. Injecting countercode. He's using a recursive loop to destabilize local time. I'm rewriting the loop. Debug walked calmly through the chaos. His scanner pulsed, revealing hidden anomalies. Fractures in reality where Unmore's influence had taken root. He purified each one with a wave of his hand, restoring stability, byte by byte. Debug, comms. 5 anomalies neutralized. 6th is resisting. It's sentient. 9. The fracture speaks. At the heart of the city, Unmore stood atop Liberty 1, his form now larger, more distorted. He absorbed corrupted data from the skyline, feeding on the city's digital soul. Unmore, you patch. I fracture. You delay. I rewrite. Frameskip glitched into view beside him, crouched on a ledge. Frameskip, you talk too much. He launched forward, skipping frames mid-strike. But Unmore anticipated the glitch, catching Frameskip mid-jump and throwing him into a billboard that flickered between ads and static. Unmore, your code is old. Your logic is flawed. Codebreaker's voice echoed through the building's speakers. Codebreaker. Then let me upgrade it. Suddenly, the building's systems turned against Unmore. Elevators dropped. Lights pulsed in binary. The structure itself began to rewrite its own architecture, folding in on Unmore's presence. Debug arrived last, stepping through a purified breach in the rooftop. He raised his scanner. Debug. You're not a fracture. You're a virus. He activated a pulse. The scanner emitted a wave of green light that froze. Unmore, mid-glitch. His form began to unravel. Faces, screams, memories, all detaching from him like corrupted files being deleted. Scene X. Reboot. Philadelphia exhaled. The glitch receded. Traffic resumed. Sirens wailed. Heartbeats returned. Patch Protocol stood atop Liberty 1, watching the skyline stabilize. The city's digital pulse, once erratic and corrupted, now beat in harmony. But the silence beneath the surface was deceptive. Unmore had retreated, not vanished. Frameskip paced along the rooftop edge, his aftermages flickering with residual static. Frameskip. That was close. Codebreaker adjusted her visor, lines of code scrolling across the lenses. Codebreaker. Too close. He's learning. Debug stood motionless, scanning the horizon with his anomaly detector. The device pulsed faintly, still registering residual corruption. Debug. We need to find the source code. He's not just corrupting cities. He's rewriting the rules. Above them, the phoenix symbol flared in the sky, projected from the kernel, deep underground. Its wings shimmered with quantum fire, casting a glow over the team. Patch Protocol mission update. Locate the original simulation seed. Prevent Unmore from accessing the root directory. Restore global logic integrity. Frameskip turned west. Chicago flickered, its skyline stuttering like a broken video feed. Frameskip. Guess we're skipping ahead. Scene 11. Echoes in the wind. The team descended into the kernel's subterranean command center. The walls pulsed with data. Every surface was alive. Screens, cables. Even the air itself seemed to hum with latent intelligence. Codebreaker initiated a deep scan of the simulation's architecture. Her fingers danced across a holographic interface, pulling up layers of code that resembled city maps, each node representing a population center. Codebreaker. Chicago's glitch signature is different. It's not just corruption. It's recursion. He's looping the city's timeline. Debug. He's testing something. A rewrite protocol. Frameskip. Then we break the loop. The Colonel's AI, nicknamed Root, spoke for the first time. Its voice was calm, synthetic, and layered with thousands of archived voices. Root. Warning. Chicago anomaly expanding. Recursive loop detected. Probability of simulation collapse. 37% and rising. Codebreaker. We need to deploy. Now. Scene 12. The loop. Chicago shimmered like a mirage. The team arrived via quantum tunnel, stepping into a city caught between frames. Cars hovered mid-motion. Pedestrians flickered in and out of existence. Buildings pulsed with false reflections. Frameskip glitched forward, skipping through corrupted intersections. His suit adapted, recalibrating to the recursive environment. Frameskip, comms. This place is stuck. It's replaying the same moment over and over. Debug activated his scanner. The device emitted a low hum. I rewrite. Frameskip launched forward, skipping frames mid-strike, but Unmore anticipated the glitch, catching him mid-jump and throwing him into a frozen fountain. Codebreaker unleashed a logic bomb, rewriting the park's digital architecture. Trees turned into firewall constructs. Benches became data nodes. Codebreaker, you're not rewriting. You're erasing. Unmore. Erasure is rebirth. Debug stepped forward, his scanner pulsing with green light. He activated a purification wave, targeting the recursive loop. Debug. You're not a god. You're a bug. Unmore screamed, his form destabilizing. The loop began to collapse. Time stuttered. Reality bent. Scene 14th. The seed. The simulation had ruptured. Unmore's final surge of corrupted code tore through the digital architecture, unraveling the last threads of stability. His voice, now a distortion of every timeline he'd consumed, echoed across the collapsing skyline. Unmore. You delay. I detonate. Let the fracture become the foundation. He raised his arms. The sky didn't just split. It imploded. A pulse erupted, not just through the simulation, but through the very fabric of existence. Time stuttered. Space folded. Reality shattered like glass caught in a hurricane. And at the center of it all, a swirling vortex formed. A spiraling rupture of broken dimensions, fractured timelines, and collapsing universes. From its core, the multiversal anchor point emerged, glowing with raw, ancient power. A portal to all realities, exposed and unguarded. The White Canucks. From the chaos, figures began to materialize, thrown together from scattered points in time and space. Each one blinked into existence mid-motion, caught between realities, their bodies flickering with temporal residue. They landed in formation around the portal, drawn by instinct, duty, and fate. At their center stood White Canuck, the true leader of the multiversal guardians. His armor shimmered with refracted timelines, his eyes burning with clarity, beyond causality. He raised his hand, and the vortex slowed, just enough for the others to stabilize. Around him, the legendary defenders took shape. Polar Pace, the speedster bear, his frost trailing across broken time. Altzari, the moose man, emerging from a prehistoric echo, his antlers glowing with elemental runes. Water Spider, bending mist and wind, his limbs weaving webs across shattered space. Iluna Itzala, cloaked in shadow, her form flickering between dimensions. Sight, the archer with perfect aim, stepping from a paused moment in a forgotten war. Selena Chopper, roaring in on her bike, tires skidding across floating shards of reality. They didn't arrive together. They were pulled, summoned, by the rupture, each from a different point in time, each from a different version of Earth. But now, they stood united under White Canuck's command. The Red Canucks return. The vortex pulsed again, this time with a darker rhythm. From the outer edges of the shattered multiverse, the Red Canucks emerged, their armor jagged, their eyes burning with vengeance. They had lost the war for Universe Prime, but Unmore's rupture had torn open the boundaries between realities, giving them a path back. They did not ally with Unmore. His chaos was too wild, too unstable. But they were drawn to the portal, to the power, to the chance to rewrite their fate. Leading them was Primal Pace, the corrupted counterpart of Polar Pace. His form was twisted by entropy, his speed a blur of destruction. He stepped forward, eyes locked on his brother. No words. Just history. Anchor point returns to the portal, pulsed once more. This time, with fury. From its core emerged a figure wrapped in golden light and ancient code. His presence bent reality around him. His voice was silence and thunder. Anchor point had returned. The original guardian of the simulation. The architect of balance. The one who had sealed the portal long ago to prevent multiversal collapse. He hovered above the vortex, eyes burning with rage. Anchor point. You shattered the seed. You exposed the core. You brought them back. His gaze swept across the battlefield. Patch Protocol, the White Canucks, the Red Canucks, and Unmore. Anchor point. There will be no peace. Not now. But still. No fighting. Not yet. The portal stabilized, suspended in the void. Earth's shards floated around it like satellites. The multiverse held its breath.